Hey guys, I'm Alexa with the SPG podcast. Welcome back to our channel. And Stan and I are going to tell you guys some very interesting information we just learned about the evolving of technology, right?
Yeah, well, not really just learned, but yeah, some talk about the evolving evolution of technology.
Yes.
And how certain things are now more accessible to the small business owner.
That's right. So what is now more accessible to
There's really a lot of things. I know we have a few things specifically to talk about today, but there really are just a tremendous amount of opportunities that are available now to a small business owner. Stuff that used to be only for those higher end large national companies, you know, like Walmarts and Pepsi's of the world, to people that had large databases of customers and quite honestly, much larger marketing budgets. And so technology, again, has evolved to a point to where a lot of these really cool features that can be utilized for marketing are now within reach, if not definitely in reach, of many small business owners around the country.
Okay, so what is now in reach for small business owners? I mean, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of what we're talking about here.
Well, I think the first thing I want to talk about and touch on was the use of a CRM database.
Okay. A CRM database.
Most businesses maintain a customer management database of some kind, right? That contains your clients and customers' information, name, address,
any
email,
contact information
info,
you've ever received from them. Sure.
And up until a couple of years ago, the use to be able to target those individuals in a digital space has been out of reach for most businesses, mainly for two reasons. There were minimums to get into these kind of things. For example, both in size of a database for this example, as well as minimum thresholds for budget.
Right. Okay. So you had to be able to spend so much money.
Right.
And you had to have so much clientele. Am I understanding this correctly? Right.
Yeah. Up till a couple of years ago, you had to have a minimum of 100,000 records for a lot of these avenues to pursue in your customer database to be able to upload that data. And then through means of other technology, be able to fine-tune how we're going to reach these people and then serve them ads in a digital space.
Sorry, give me a comparison, though. So like in a small market, like a car dealer, would have how...
Yeah,
what am I trying to say here? How many?
One of our car dealer clients we've had for 15 years. They've been in business since the 70s. And their customer database was, I think, 40 or 43,000. So they've been in business for 40-some years.
Right, and I would consider like a car dealer, especially in our market, would you think be able to do something like that? Yeah. So they couldn't even participate in something like this? Not until
most recently, a couple of years, yeah. But in the past, they couldn't participate in that just because we couldn't meet the threshold of that 100,000 records in order to just enter that game.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
So, but now, again, through the evolution of technology and how things have come down, using that same example, that particular data partner is called LiveRamp, and they have a beautiful integration of a customer's CRM data where we take that data, we upload it, we create a custom data audience segment for that customer. It's only can be used for that customer.
Okay.
Through various means of cross-referencing other databases, LiveRamp is able to identify geographically and through other characteristics how to target these individuals that are in your customer database, so we can serve them ads for you and your business. Now, the beauty of that is the threshold used to be 100,000 records, like we've said,
right?
But that's been dropped. It's still recommended. The recommended minimum is 10,000, but that's not a requirement to enter this arena. It's more suggested just to help with scale.
Okay.
Obviously, the bigger database you have, the more records that you have, the more benefit you as a business are going to see from being able to advertise to that audience.
Okay.
Right. But again, it's not to say that you can't. If you have 1,000 records, we could totally create a custom database for your business now and target those individuals. Now, you won't be able to spend a whole lot of money on it. It's not a big money thing for us. It's not something that's going to eat up a tremendous amount of your marketing budget. But it does allow you as a small business owner to play in that game that until until recently, again, has been reserved for the major companies.
And how do you play in that? I mean, is this something that you're utilizing as a retargeting? This is campaign? I mean, when you're talking about a small business.
Not so much kind of a retargeting, not so much that as it's, well, take the car dealer example you brought up earlier. And this could work with any business. I mean, every business has a need to reach out to past customers.
Sure, absolutely. Right? I mean, if somebody, for example, a car dealer comes onto your lot, they're looking for a specific model of car, they like what you have, but you haven't sold them the car yet, you have their basic information, you can essentially serve them ads saying, don't forget about us.
Or if you are a car dealer and you want to increase your absorption rate by increasing your revenue from your service department, a great way to do that is let's get some ads out there to people who already know who you are.
Right.
To drive them in. Maybe it's an oil change offer or a new tire sale.
Car
wash if you have a detail shop for that.
Anything maintaining your car.
Anything, that small loss leader to get them in the door. I mean, every car dealer and every service department manager out there knows, if we can get them in on an oil change, we're probably going to sell them on a brake job.
Right.
Or when we diagnose the car, when we're there, chances are we're going to find some other things. Now, that doesn't mean we need to force that sale. It doesn't mean that they're going to automatically buy it, but the odds are good that if you can point out, okay, well, things are, looking good. Your brakes, brake wear is here. We could do it now. Keep in mind, come back in 3 months. Let's look at it again. Whatever. You're setting that stage for a future sale.
Brand awareness, keeping that real estate in somebody's mind. Don't forget who we are.
It's a good way to build that future business by doing something simple like that. So that's a good use of that CRM data. The other beauty of using CRM databases is that's your first-party data, right? So we've talked a lot about, and there's been a lot in the news over the last few years over the cookieless future. Yes. Right? So the death of the cookie and all that. Mm-hmm. Cookies are irrelevant in this conversation.
Which is good.
Excellent. Because it's as the business owner, that's your data.
Right.
You're not relying on a cookie to target
anything else to give you this data.
It's all yours. So there's other benefits to that as well, but that, again, is a great example of how the evolution of technology now makes things attainable to that small business owner.
That's really cool.
I like that one.
I know. So sorry. So how can somebody use this this is something that they can use in their marketing tool belt. This is something they can add to. Do they have to take away from their other marketing budget to afford something like this? I mean, do we want to talk about some type of spend?
I think on the next one I'll have a good example of spend. But I mean, if you have 1,000 records in your database, we're not going to be able to spend that much money. I mean, we still charge in this environment on a cost per 1,000 basis. So for every 1,000 times your ad is seen, it costs you X number of dollars.
Okay.
It might be $10, $12, $9, depending on what we're talking about here for a display campaign. Video is a little more. That said, it's a factor of math. So easy math, let's use $10. Let's say $10 1,000, and you want to hit all 1,000 people 10 times. So that's 10,000. It's cost you $100. It says it's going to take a while to spend a great amount of money unless you have a database of larger scale.
Okay.
And I think a lot of those minimums have been in place because the data partners and the companies out there that do that, I mean, we're not going to make a lot of money off of a $100 sale.
Right.
Or a $500 sale, a $300 sale. We appreciate it all, don't get me wrong, but in reality, if we're looking at those bigger companies, the reason they've tailored themselves to those large national corporations that have big budgets and big databases, because it's worth their time to do so.
Right.
And I mean, that's just business. It's capitalism. They're going to go to where they're going to get food on their plate. But what I enjoy about what we do is that now we can see that evolution of technology. We can see how it's now within reach.
Right.
For a reasonable amount of money and a reasonable database size, to be able to go after that, use that same technology for the same purpose from that small scale of that mom and pop store down the street. It could be a coffee shop. It could be a small restaurant. It could be a doctor's office, whatever. Doctor's office might have some HIPAA things that we're going to talk about, but
sure,
you get the idea.
But the point is that we we are able to now cater that to these small businesses that we work with.
Absolutely.
I think that's great. And the thing is too, guys, is if you don't have anybody you're working with, we would love to work with you, wouldn't we?
That's right.
And offer this product to you as well. So if you have any questions about this, if this was a lot of information that you just need to get your head wrapped around a little more, if you have questions, wanting more information about this, we invite you to come down and see us here at our office. You can click the link there. You'll get our information. We invite you to like our channel and like this video. And we hope this was helpful to you all. And like we always say,
until next time.